Welcome to the show. Let's make sure everything is working well. Looks good on the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. Sri Lankan Sammy retired with mom and dad. Just grinding away the coffee here, grinding away at life. I want to say welcome to everyone who is watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribers and non-subscribers. Guys, please do me a favor, just click the like button or make a comment. That would really help the channel. I really would appreciate if you would comment anything, and that will help the channel grow a little bit, because if you're watching this right now, that means you're kind of interested in talking about Sri Lanka, talking about retirement, talking about money, talking about life, or just hanging out with me. So, excuse me. If you comment, then that shows the algorithm that a person like you likes my channel, and it'll put it out in front of other people. So I really want the channel to grow, and help me out with that. Darren, brother, welcome. Hope you're doing well. I can see you're really into this more than me. So today I was gonna just like lightly comment on what's going on, but you really got into it. But see, I'm not a financial guy, not like you, okay? You have your hands in a lot of places and you're watching a lot of things. I'm just focused on the Korean won exchange rate to the Sri Lankan rupee. That's all. And the local market. So today, the market is up 5%, and the S&P Sri Lankan 20 is up 7.5%. So it is recovered to pre-tariff paranoia almost 95%. It is 300 points away from record high. Now, I know, Darren, your position is like, you have a way more insight into this than I do. All I'm saying is I'm just looking at the evidence for today. I did not sell. Even if I did sell, I'm still up 35% unrealized profit on my stocks. I never sold. I bought back in August in the dip before the election. And I bought just at the bottom of the dip. I bought like a week before the bottom of the dip. I was very, very lucky. I wasn't insightful. I was lucky. I had money to invest, and I invested it on that day. And the most I've ever had in unrealized profit was 45% on the 5 securities I own. I own a bank, telecom, alcohol, oil, and tobacco. I own 5 stocks. They're all dividend paying stocks. I got paid out my dividends. I'm so happy. The dividends were amazing. Okay. And the most I've ever profited on the 5 stocks is 45% overall. I'm at 36% right now. So, I'm still in profit. 36%. You can't go wrong. And these are buy and holds. I'm not going to sell these. I'm not going to take a stop loss. I'm not going to take profit. I'm not going to do like what everybody else does. I'll just keep it. I've diversified. I was actually going to buy more yesterday to draw down my average cost, but they're not below. Like, I would be losing money if I did, because they're above what I bought them at. They're still all above. My banking stock is 80% above. My telecom stock is 60%. My brewery is 25%, 15%, and 10%. Those are what my individual stock profit is. So I'm not overly worried, because they're buy and holds. Darren, you were telling me a couple of years ago, putting money into the banks was risky, because if they failed, you'd lose your money. And I currently have a 5-year term deposit at my bank at 24.75%. 5 years at 24.75%. Yeah. and that's 20% of my portfolio. So it's just sitting there making me money. I'm so happy, and it's yearly. So every year, so far, I got 2 years left or 3 years left. I don't even know. It all just sits there. I'm not a panic guy because I survived the crash of '96, the crash of 2007, the Great Depression in the late '80s. Excuse me. Rainy, cold day in Sri Lanka today. Finally cooled off. It's raining. It's been raining all night, all day, cloudy. 26 degrees Celsius right now. Normally it's like 34. So it's a little chilly for me, but the humidity is nice and high because it's raining. So haven't had to turn on the air conditioner today. So I'm glad to be enjoying some fresh air because I don't like the air conditioner. It screws up my throat. Anyway, what I was talking about is, like I said, I'm a very passive investor. I buy and hold. So I've got my money in the bank. I've got money in the stocks, and I bought gold. And Darren, yeah, man, let me tell you, woohoo! I'm 40% into gold. I took all the profits that I got, all the dividends, all the interest that I earned from my term deposits and all the cash I had, and I bought gold. I used every penny I had. I mean, I everything I had in cash that I had in the bank, I had from my paychecks, everything I transferred over from Sri Lanka into everything from Korea. I transferred everything. Every penny I had, you know, I'm basically living off of like a couple of $100 till next payday. So, which was today. Today was payday, so I'm okay. But I bought gold because I knew what was going to happen. I knew gold was going to go up because of the tariffs and everything like that. Well, not that I knew. That's what history says. Okay, so you can only go from what information you have, and that gold is in the safety deposit box, and it's going to sit there for at least 2 years, right? So a lot of people are wondering, you know, what is. Here's what I want to point out. I am a stupid investor. Back when I was younger, I didn't invest properly. I didn't spend my money properly. I didn't factor in for retirement. And then I got divorced. That wiped out my savings. Came to Korea. I should have, would have, could have, right? But now, after COVID, for the last, we're up to 5 years now, I've been saving and working and sacrificing. So here's the sacrifices. Number one, I left Korea and moved back to Sri Lanka. I gave up a lot of social life to live at home with mom and dad to save money. Number two, I started working as much as possible. Number three, what I did just this week, I decided I'm not going on vacation in August. The cost of exchange rate, if I bought because I'd have to buy the tickets in the next week or two because the price goes up. So Sarah has vacation at the end of July and in the beginning of October, which is Korean New Year. Korean Thanksgiving. And that Thanksgiving holiday is actually almost 2 weeks long if we extend it for a few days. It's a super long holiday. But the price of everything was ridiculous. Like, I don't get dinged by South Korean airfares, but the price difference between leaving on Wednesday, the holiday start, and leaving on Sunday or Monday, which is a work day, was almost $900 US. The flight tickets difference. All right. So huge difference, and really important because Sarah was like, oh, if I take an extra 3 days off, I'm losing money. I said, well, you can work those 3 days and then spend $900 more on an airplane ticket. She goes, oh yeah, you're right. So I decided that, the cost, basically what it is it's not the cost of the trip. Well, it is, because it's an ultra long trip. And I'm kind of working less right now. I didn't get as many new contracts as I wanted. They're slowly coming in, but not as many as I thought I would have. Normally, by March, April, I have a lot of contracts, and I'm missing 2 or 3. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that in June, July, I get the good news for my huge contract, which fills up my schedule for 6 months. So in 6 months, I make a year's salary just from one contract. And they're going to give me a raise too. So this will be my 3rd year on that contract. So they'll give me a raise. They give me a raise every time, but I'll get another raise, and it's basically a year's salary in 6 months. And then that'll mean that in February, I'll probably go on vacation. Now, I've been thinking about, so before I get to that, what is going on here in Sri Lanka? Well, nobody knows. The government is scrambling, and Darren, you were right. Sri Lanka exports more than it imports. It exports billions, 3.5 billion, and imports 250 million. So that's a huge amount of deficit or surplus or whatever you want to call it. So, but as you said, Trump has backed off for 90 days. He's getting pressure from his governors and senators, and those people are getting pressure from the constituents who are losing their retirement funds. I don't know much about what's going on in the United States because, again, I don't pay attention to it, but it's not good news for them. And as you are pointing out in your comments here, China can just go, they're a communist. They're not a they're, well, whatever they are, they can do whatever they want. They got all the money. Yeah, the market's up 5.5% now in Sri Lanka. It's doing spectacular. Let's see what happens tomorrow, right? Who knows what happens tomorrow? Tomorrow we could be hit by a meteorite. Nobody knows. I mean, and that's what I said on another chat. I said, nobody could predict 9/11, right? Nobody predicted that. You can't predict these things. Things happen. And that's why the stock market is a gamble. But if you gamble smart and not go for like don't follow what everybody else is doing. When everybody's buying, you sell. When everybody's selling, you buy. Do the opposite, okay? Don't be a sheep, be a wolf. But be a conservative. That's what I am. I'm very conservative. I'm not panicking. I'm not worried. I'm concerned, but I make lifestyle changes, and that's what I've done. I've decided I'm not going to spend 30% more for the same vacation. I'm not going to spend 30% more. That 30% can go into savings, right? Because I'm making about 30% less right now per month. Okay, so there I'm taking another hit. I just found out though that I am getting my pension refund in Korea. When you leave the country, you can get your pension back. So I've left the country, I can get my pension back. So I'm applying to get my pension back, which is a huge chunk of money, right? So that's going to come to me. I just have to figure out how to. I have the plans to do it. I just have to go do it. Sri Lanka has a MOU with the pension office, so I just have to go to the pension office here or the Sri Lankan Labor Board here and file some paperwork, and they go and get it from Korea for me. So that's great. A lot of the companies I work for didn't provide pension, so it's not a huge amount of money, but it's a good chunk of money after 20 years, right? 18 years of working. That's a huge chunk of money coming into me. So that'll go straight into gold. Well, no, we'll see when it gets here. It'll probably get here in July, August. Depending on how much it is, it's going to go into either, I'll probably split it up into new stocks, gold, and savings account, depending on the prices at that time. What I'll probably end up doing is short, as soon as it gets in, short-term term deposit, like a 30-day term deposit, just so I can make a little bit of money while I decide what to do with it. So my friend, you guys know Lady Sarah, so she had 6 figures of investment. She asked me last week ago, she goes, what should I do? I got X amount of dollars I want to invest, what should I do? And she's an American Korean. Well, don't invest in the Korean market. She's investing in the US. So she put 30% into 38% into stock, 40% into gold, 20% into term deposits, high yield term deposits, and she left 10% in cash in the US. I told her, well, that 10%, you don't have any bills in the United States. You don't have anything. So you should just put that. And she goes, I'll leave it as US dollars so that if I need money in Korea, I can just buy Korean won. And I said, that's smart. That's an emergency fund that you can just leave there. But put it into a 30-day or a high yield savings account, 30 days or something like that. So she bought ETFs. So I said, I go, you're young, you're buying and holding for 5 years, buy dividend stocks and ETFs. I didn't tell her which ones to do. So you got to research yourself. And I connected her with the Motley Fool website, which is a really good website. Lots of unbiased opinions and ideas to help the beginner. I am no expert, I don't want anyone listening to anything anyone says, but you should follow what historically has occurred. Darren comes to some amazing points, and they're all realistic, but nobody knows what's going to happen. So you need to take a stand, and you can't flip-flop, and you can't panic, and you can't coulda, woulda, shoulda. Yeah, absolutely coulda, woulda, shoulda, but that's gambling. That's what gambling is all about. And that's what this is, gambling. So, if I did sell, I would have made an extra 10% and take profit. But what if the stocks kept going up? I would have lost. No, you don't lose. And that's the thing. It's unrealized profit, right? It's not money until you sell. Okay? So don't think about what could have, what should have. Think about what is. That's the most important thing. Learn to live life. Don't let life live you. It's very important. Okay. So my thing is, for us retirees or people approaching retirement, is how much money do you need? Do you want to live off of passive income, the interest, or do you want to eat into the capital? Well, my plan was to live off the interest, live off the passive income. And I should, by the end of next year, have enough to live off the passive income without taking a vacation. Now, if I continue working for these American companies that I'm working for and teaching kids, I will earn enough to go on vacation. So I'll continue working. But I'm only going to be working, right now, I work about so last month, let's see. Last month I worked 50 hours. So about 12, no. About 20 hours a week. Yeah, about 20 hours a week. This month I'm working about 15 hours a week. In my like packed schedule, I'm working, 40 hours a week when my schedule's packed, when I have that big contract. So if I work for the two American companies teaching kids, I will work 20 or 30 hours a month. So 7 to 10 hours a week. 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day at night. And on the weekend, maybe in the morning. So I'll shutter my schedule so that I only work mornings on the weekends and evenings on the weekdays. That way I do what I want. I'll focus on the YouTube. I'll focus on coaching. I'll focus on the side hustle I have. I'll focus on relaxing. But I'll get bored very quickly. So here's the thing. I calculated, well, I'm going to complete the calculation. I need to double check my numbers. I'm using ChatGTP, the paid service. Let me tell you, that thing, the deep analysis, wow. I don't know what I would do without that thing. The ability for that to help me analyze information and put together a consensus, wow. Not in stocks, but in like helping me, right? So I am 56 years old. I'll be 57 at the end of this year, which means I am in 3.5 years, I am eligible for early pension, Canada pension. Okay. So Canada pension, if you take it at 60, you get a penalty. But I need to calculate how much I'm going to get as opposed to waiting till 65. And that's the thing, what if I die at 65? Who knows? So how much should I get? Now it's telling me that with the penalty and the average, I gave it an average how much I earned over the my life in Canada. And then I said, this is how much I earned, right? Because I looked it up. He says, well, this is what your potential pension would be. And it's quite a bit per month. So in 3.5 years, I can stop working 100%. But I will continue to do it because I need to cover off inflation. So I'll probably continue working for the American companies who pay me from the States, so I don't have to worry about taxes and anything like that in Korea because my visa's expiring. My visa's expiring in July. I'm not going to renew it. It's just not worth it to go all the way there just to renew it just for 1 more year or 2 more years. I don't need it. I'm not going to be working for these companies anymore. I'm done with them. Once my contracts expire December 31st of this year, that's it. Not gonna go forward with them anymore. Pay my taxes in Korea, and then that's it for this year. For 2025, well, 2024, I got to file taxes at the end of this month. At the end of this month, I got to file taxes, and then for 2025, I'll file taxes in 2026. Yeah, so what I think I'll do is for the next 3.5 years, I will continue working part-time. I'll focus on YouTube. I'll focus on some side hustles just to, build up my nest egg. And then when I get my pension from Canada at 60, then I will decide, do I want to get rid of all the computers and everything like that. This computer will last me another 3.5 years. It works perfectly fine. I'll take it in for a service, a maintenance in probably in October, because I have some time because of the Korean holiday. I'll have time off, so I can take it in for a day or two for them to take it apart, clean it all out, repaste the thermal paste. I don't want to do it. Lenovo laptops are very difficult to open. I don't want to do it. I could do it. I have the tools, I have the equipment, but I don't. Maybe I'll do it. There's a lot of YouTube videos showing how to do it. It's just that the case on this Lenovo is not the best thing. And if I screw it up, that's a big deal. If a technician screws it up, they're responsible. They're liable. So, yeah, the market is up 811 points. That's a record. 5.5%. Really doing well. So, I think what I'll do is for 2026, I'll continue working, which was the plan. And then at the end of 2026, I'm going to decide, am I going to do the 1-year tour? 3 months here, 3 months there, 3 months there, 3 months there, 3 months there, like I planned, using ChatGPT, avoiding the monsoons. So between Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, maybe not even Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, and then back to Thailand. Where can I go and what can I do to ensure that I avoid the monsoons? Maybe 6 months in Philippines, because again, I don't know. So ChatGPT gave me a whole list of places to do. So that's 2027. So I'll do that for a year. Maybe like go out in March, which is like low season, right? So travel out in March because I want to save money. So no more flying business. Well, the first trip out will be business class, but then the flights internally will be all domestic. I'm going to have to buy luggage on each flight. I can't do 14 kilos because you can buy you get 7 kilos of carry-on and then another 7 you can buy. But I need my 20 kilos because I need to bring the laptop and the 2 screens. If I'm going to work, I'm going to need the 2 screens. I'm going to need the power bar. I'm going to need my electronics. I'm going to need clothes. I really need to pare down the clothes. My God, the amount of clothes I carry with me is just a waste. I think what I'm going to do is just take, 2 or 3 days worth of clothes. 1 pair of jeans, 1 pair of shorts, 1 pair of socks, slippers, shoes, 3 or 4 pairs of underwear, 4 or 5 t-shirts, and then the rest I can buy over there, like cheap stuff. So, and then just do laundry. Laundry is so cheap. Every 3 days you do laundry, you got a fresh set of clothes. What's the big deal? The same pair of shorts I wore for a week, which was my bathing suit shorts, swim shorts. I came home, I washed them, hung them out to dry. Next morning they were dry, and because they were these like quick dry material, they're really cool. So I need to start to pack lightweight And that means I need to start thinking light, traveling, like be a backpacker type of thing. So that's my idea. That's what I got rolling around in my head for the next 18 months. So the end of 2026 will be the decision maker, because 2029 is when my pension plan starts. So I have to start applying for it a year before, they say. It takes a year. Is that right? So I'm 57 in 2025. I am so bad at math. I'll be 60 in 2028, which means I should apply in 2027. No, January 2028. So December 2028, I will be 60 years old. So January 2029 is when my payments will start. And then my old age security will start 5 years later in 2034. That'll top up. Oh, by then, that will cover inflation, no problem. 5 years after that. So here's my plan then. So I will travel for a year in 2027. Then in 2028, when my last year of working, I will decide, do I want to pick a place and settle down for a year? So what would that cost me? Maybe this is what I'll do. I'll spend 1 year in Thailand, 1 year in Philippines, right? Miss Clark, you keep changing your name, or is that your login ID? Are you in LA? Where in the world are you? You keep traveling way too much. I see your Insta and your Facebook, and I can't keep track of where in the world you are. We were just talking about retirement and like side hustles and my plans for the next 18 months. And my visa is expiring in Korea in July. Not going to renew it. So just what plans I have. So you're back in LA. So yeah, enjoy that. Be safe out there. And Asia, you got to come to Sri Lanka one day, all right? Or catch me in Asia, in Southeast Asia in 2027. Yeah, 2027. So basically, I've had to cancel my vacation for August and October. The cost of the exchange rate between the Korean won and US dollar is just insanely ridiculous. If you're planning on coming to Korea, buy your foreign income now. Your foreign Korean won or wherever in the world you're going, buy it now. The exchange rate is really favorable right now. Or you should have done it actually a week ago. But yeah, you know, I spending 30% more for the same vacation. I said, no, I'm going to sacrifice, save that money and put it in the bank, make money for myself and not spend it on a vacation. I can go on vacation. My life is a vacation. I don't need a vacation. I can just do a staycation, which is probably cheaper and better. I hope you guys like the current videos. on my motorcycle trip. So, sorry, my nail chipped and it's like catching on everything. I hate that. So, I'm like I said, I'm planning on discovering where I can go and how much. So I figured, and here's what somebody asked me. They said, "Oh, I'm 76 years old. I'm planning on retiring. What advice do you have for me?" Regarding cost of living and what should I do? And I said, well, that's a loaded question. That is a very complicated question for me to answer because I can't answer it. But here's the steps you got to take. Wow. I am up 7.7% today. I've recovered everything from the pre-tariff. Wow. And that's just, and everybody is going to take profit, and tomorrow the market's going to crash. Just before the long weekend in Sri Lanka. The market's closed on Monday. Is it closed on Monday? Yes. For Sinhala and Tamil New Year, the markets will be closed on Monday, so everybody's going to take profit. Yeah, that's always a good thing, but I wouldn't buy specific stocks. I would buy an ETF that covers like a large, broad base. I mean, Amazon, I'm assuming is a dividend stock, so that's a good thing. But unless you're buying huge amounts, you're really not going to earn that much money. Well, in the US, yes, you will, because the interest rates are very low. But here in Sri Lanka, no. I'm getting 8% on a standard term deposit, and but I'm buying gold. Gold is cheap, very cheap in Sri Lanka, and it's about a 5% spread on the global spot. So my gold that I bought a month ago has made me crap ton of money so far. But I'm not even looking at it. I'm just like letting it sit there and just. I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I have a macros that scrapes the internet and shows me my current asset, like my current. I know exactly how much I'm worth in stocks, in dividends, in gold, and in savings. So it's all there, and there's a golden number, and it keeps getting higher and higher, and it's actually projected across for the rest of the year. Because I know how much I spend, and I know how much I'm going to make under my contract. So I know how much I'm going to have at the end of the year, and it's just, that number just keeps growing, and I'm so happy. Every day I wake up and I look at that number at the December 31st of this year, and I just look at that golden number. It's highlighted in gold, and I just smile. The smile on my face is like amazing. That's what everybody said 10 years ago, and look at it today. Gold keeps going up, and it keeps going up, and keeps going up. Gold has never gone down over 5 years, over 2 years, over 5 days. Yes, it goes down. Over 6 months, yes, it goes down. But over 5 years, no, it's not going to go down. It never has. I remember when gold was $25 an ounce. Okay, I remember that. I remember gas when it was 25 cents a liter, a gallon. Sorry, 25 cents a gallon in Canada in the 70s. Okay, so my plan is that I won't need this money that I have invested for 3 more years. I can live off my salary. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. If I continue to work for these 2 American companies that I'm working for, and the amount of money that I earn will just cover my living expenses while traveling. So I won't have to touch my investments. Now, here's the problem. There's a risk in that. I would have to make sure that I have a flight ticket home or money for a flight ticket home, that I have an emergency fund to cover 6 months, not just 3, but 6, on top of the flight ticket home, right? Because just in case I lose a contract or something happens, because these things are not guaranteed. The companies I work for are month to month. That's it. Now, I've been working for them for 3 years, so I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. But you have to always cover your butt. Come on, alcohol shares, go up. People drink more, smoke more. That's what I keep telling Desmond. Desmond, I want you to drink and I want you to smoke. Only these 2 breads. But I'm very positive. I'm very, very positive. I have looked at the price of. I know the pricing of rentals in Thailand. I know the pricing of rentals in Philippines. And the trick, and here's what I told this one person. The trick is you need to find out what area you need to stay in. I already know what area I want to stay in. Okay, I already know. I'm going to live in southern Pattaya in Jomtien. And I'm going to live inland, not on the beach. Close to the beach, but not on the beach. I'm going to rent a scooter for 3 months. I'm going to pay them cash up front. I say 3 months, give me a deal. Okay, they have monthly deals. I can rent a scooter for about 70 USD a month. Could probably get it down to about 50 if I rent it for 3 months. And tell them that I'm going to do the oil change and everything. I can get a condo. So what you do is I can get a condo for about 150 USD a month, a studio with a small kitchenette. You have to wash your dishes in the kitchens, in the bathroom sink. Big deal. What dishes do you have? I fry a couple of eggs, I toast a little bread, and I cut up fruit. My food costs will be less than 100 USD a week because I don't eat a lot. I eat fruits for breakfast, coconut water. I drink water all day long, and my lunch is rice and vegetables with a little bit of protein, which I can get from the street vendor, right? And not a lot of rice. And I eat breakfast and lunch. That's it. No dinner. Dinners once a week. I'll go out and eat a nice dinner. Electricity is like $15-20 a month because I don't use AC. But my computers and stuff will use a lot more. And entertainment. I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. Maybe once a month I'll go out and party with friends or whatever. But my plan is to, and what I told this one gentleman who was asking me, find out, travel from place to place to place and look at where you're living. Do you like the people there? Do you like the weather? Do you like the ambiance? Now you have to go and you have to research the good weather and the bad weather because they have cycles. In the tropical areas of the world, they don't have 4 seasons, they have 2. They have wet and dry. So you have to like figure out. In Thailand, not a lot of monsoons. In the Philippines, monsoons all the time. Typhoons. Vietnam as well. Vietnam, you can't stay more than 3 months. They're looking at doing the visa, long-term visa, but still not. I'm not looking for long-term visas. I'm looking for tourist because that's all I'm going to do. They ever stop me and say, "Why do you have so many computer screens?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm an animator. I like to animate. My eyes are no good. I need big screens." Are you like a digital nomad? No. Anything I buy in Thailand or Philippines, I can leave at a friend's house. One little bag and leave it at a friend's house. I got friends in Philippines. I got friends in Thailand. I can leave it at their house for when I come back. Buddy, there's a small duffel bag. Can you just keep it at your place when I come back in 6 months? Sure, no problem. It's one bag. That's not going to kill me. So I told them, find out where it is that you want to go and then, stay there for 3 months. And then decide, can I eat the food here? Do I like the ambiance? Do I like the weather? Do I like the people? Do I like the lifestyle? Then research your visas and your health insurance. And then look at your costs. So my thing is that go get an Airbnb for a week. And then go door to door, knocking on condos and apartments, looking for the vendor. Because online you're paying a premium, and those are advertised, and they're paying taxes on that income. But if you find a guy and say, "Listen, I'll pay you cash," you'll get a good discount. There's issues and risks in that. Okay. You have to be careful of scams, but I mean, that's how to save yourself money, right? What else? Well, since I'm not going on vacation in July with Lady Sarah, and I'm not doing vacation in October because it's too expensive, I think I'm going to do like a week trip down south. I'm gonna see what it's like in October, what my schedule is like, whatever. Maybe I'll just treat myself and once a month go spend a weekend up at Nagamo Beach and just treat myself to a staycation once a month. I don't know. I'm happy as I am right now, but I'm only back from vacation like 2 months. It's 10 months until February. Can I survive 10 months? I might need to take a break in October. I might need to take a break. Take a week and just go down south, get a hotel, spend a little bit of money on a hotel, like $1,000, get a nice hotel and just sleep and eat in a restaurant for a week, right? I can get the Sri Lankan rate. What I really need to focus on, though, is I need to focus on the side hustles. And having more free time will give me that time to focus on the side hustles. And I think that that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Guys, tip number 1. Save yourself some money. When you sign up for a subscription for a service, or when you sign up for a free service, first thing you got to do, put an alarm in your calendar to remind you to cancel the service. Otherwise, you're going to get charged on your credit card, which I did. Give me 1 second. So, yeah, don't get caught with that subscription renewal. Lost $25 on that. But the one subscription that I'm going to suggest that you do sign up for is ChatGTP Plus. Let me tell you something. I have gotten rid of all of my other YouTube subscription services. ChatGTP does it all. I used to have Canva. I used to have v.io and all of these other different things. I don't need them anymore. I just use ChatGTP. Oh my gosh, so amazing. Got rid of YouTube Premium. Don't need that. So what? There's a commercial. I'll wait 5 seconds. I don't care. Wow. Oh, the market. I'm just so happy. I wouldn't care one way or another. Wouldn't care one. Once it hits, like, even if it, I don't know. Even if it got down to 5% profit, I don't know what I would do. Because it'll go back up. The fundamentals are all there. The companies I invested in have strong fundamentals. So this is just panic selling and profit taking. That's what it is. And I'm not in it for the short term. I'm not a day trader. I'm a long buy and hold, 2+ years for the dividend. This stock is going to pay me more dividends than anything else. I'll put a stop loss, maybe, at the end of this week. I have a stop loss on it for 5%. But maybe I'll put a higher one. But I'm watching it, so I know what's happening every day. It's just running on my screen up here. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap things up today because I got to get ready for work. Yay! And have lunch. It's lunchtime. Mom made ribs, curried ribs. Our cook didn't come today, so she said she was going to cook today. So she made me. She said, "Do you want ribs?" And I said, "Yes." So she made curried ribs, fall off the bone. I am going to gorge myself on that. That's definitely going to be something I'm going to enjoy. Her curried ribs are the best. Ugh, my mouth is watering just thinking, and I've been smelling it all day because I'm right above the kitchen. I can smell it. Oh, it's really good. Darren, thank you so much for always being a strong supporter, brother. Love you, okay? Give Janet a big hug for me. Hope the kids are doing well, and I hope you're enjoying. It is fall for you right now. End of fall for you. So it's going to be winter soon for you. So I hope you enjoy winter down in Australia. And Miss Clark, Lady T, please enjoy. Thank you for joining and commenting. I truly appreciate it. Strong supporters. Everyone else who's watching, liking, sharing, commenting, please remember, learn to live life. Don't let life live you. Be good to each other. All right? And 30 degrees today. Well, technically it's fall, right? Technically it's fall. Anyways, brothers and sisters, I'm Sri Lankan Sammy, retired with mom and dad, wishing you the best, and we'll see you all on the other side.